1. David Corenswet Superman, Dad Energy, Abs of Steel, and a new era for DC. 2. James Gunn's vision for Superman, bringing color and joy back. 3. James Gunn responds to MAGA outrage over Superman's Immigrant story. Cast defends film. 4. James Gunn's Superman, politics, kindness, and America's immigrant hero. 1. David Corenswet Superman, Dad Energy, Abs of Steel, and a new era for DC. Imagine a world where the most iconic superhero of all time is not just a symbol of strength and power, but also a beacon of hope and kindness. Welcome to the world of David Corenswet, the new Superman who is bringing a fresh wave of dad energy and a heart of gold to the iconic role. But here's where it gets interesting. Corenswet's journey to becoming the Man of Steel is not just about donning a cape and saving the world, it's about embracing his true self and sharing that with the world. As he prepares to take flight as the latest incarnation of Superman, Corenswet is ready to show the world that being a hero is not just about having superpowers, but about being a good person. And this is the part most people miss: the fact that Corenswet's dad energy is not just a quirky trait, but a fundamental aspect of his personality that is rooted in his desire to care for and protect those around him. Growing up in Philadelphia, Corenswet was always the guy who looked out for his friends, making sure they were safe and sound. He took pride in being the responsible one, the one who always buckled his seatbelt and made sure everyone else did too. As he grew older, people began to notice that he had a certain Superman energy about him, a kind of inherent goodness that made him stand out from the crowd. Now, as he takes on the role of a lifetime, Corenswet is bringing that same energy to the big screen. But what makes this new Superman different from the ones that have come before? For starters, Corenswet's Superman is vulnerable, he's not invincible, and he knows it. He's an everyman with the same fears and doubts that we all have. He's a hero who is not afraid to show his emotions, to be vulnerable and open with those around him. And that's what makes him so relatable, so human. As Corenswet himself says, he can save the city from a giant kaiju one day, and the next day be in an argument with Lois Lane that makes him feel like the world's going to end. It's this kind of vulnerability that makes Superman so endearing, so accessible to audiences around the world. But don't just take our word for it. Corenswet's co-star, Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane, says that he brings a dueling lightness and gravitas to the role, a sense of depth and nuance that is hard to find in modern superhero movies. So, what's next for Corenswet and his Superman? As the movie prepares to hit theaters, the actor is getting ready for the world to know his name and face. He's joking about hiding under a rug for a week to let the hype die down, but deep down, he's excited to share this new iteration of the iconic hero with the world. And as he looks to the future, Corenswet is aware that he's not just playing a character, he's representing a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. It's a big responsibility, but one that he's ready to take on. As he says, Superman has a wonderful innocence about him, especially in this film. He's a little earlier in his career, he's not a grown man yet, he doesn't have kids yet. He has some stuff to learn about that. But what's interesting is that Corenswet's own life experiences have informed his portrayal of Superman. His father, John, was a stage actor turned lawyer, and Corenswet started acting at a young age. He's had his fair share of struggles and losses, including the death of his father in 2019. But through it all, he's learned to approach life with a sense of kindness and compassion, a sense of dad energy that is hard to find in today's world. And that's what makes his Superman so special. It's a hero who is not just about saving the world, but about being a good person, a hero who is kind, compassionate, and genuine. So as we prepare to meet the new Superman, let's ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a hero in today's world? Is it just about having superpowers, or is it about being a good person, a person with heart and kindness? Let us know in the comments. But here's the thing, Corenswet's Superman is not just a hero, he's a reflection of our own desires and aspirations. He's a symbol of hope and inspiration, a reminder that we all have the power to be heroes, to make a difference in the world. And that's what makes this new Superman so exciting, so worth watching. As Corenswet says, I think it's because I'm really not innocent. He's a hero who is aware of his own flaws and weaknesses, a hero who is not afraid to show his vulnerabilities. And that's what makes him so relatable, so human. So, get ready to meet the new Superman, a hero who is not just about saving the world, but about being a good person, a person with heart and kindness. It's a hero who is worth rooting for, a hero who is worth emulating. And as we watch him soar through the skies, let's remember that we all have the power to be heroes, to make a difference in the world. The question is, will we use that power for good, or will we let it slip away? The choice is ours, but one thing is for sure. the new Superman is here, and he's ready to inspire us all to be better, to be kinder, and to be more compassionate. But what do you think? Are you ready to meet the new Superman? Do you think he has what it takes to be a hero in today's world? Let us know in the comments. 2. James Gunn's vision for Superman, bringing color and joy back. James Gunn aims to reintroduce color and joy to Superman. In certain aspects, it's more uplifting. It's not just a bird or a plane. It's the exciting evolution of James Gunn's DC universe, highlighted by his fresh interpretation of Superman. At the world premiere event held on Monday, Gunn, who is both the writer and director, shared with Deadline his vision for a lighter rendition of the iconic DC Comics superhero, one that reconnects with the vibrant essence and joy found in the character's original stories. Gunn elaborated, "In some ways it's lighter. However, the film does tackle some serious themes as well." This statement comes in the wake of Zack Snyder's darker portrayals in films like Man of Steel, 2013, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, 2016, and Justice League, 2017. He emphasized, "But the character himself embodies a lighter spirit." The head of DC Studios described Clark Kent as a true rarity, noting that he hails from a supportive and loving family. He has parents who genuinely care for him, and he grows up in a nurturing environment filled with emotional support. This upbringing contributes to him being a well-adjusted individual, although he certainly has his own imperfections. Gunn expressed his fondness for the vibrant colors and joyful narratives of the comic books he cherished during his childhood, stating, "I wanted to infuse this film with that same sense of wonder and happiness." Since assuming leadership of DC Studios alongside Peter Safran in 2022, Gunn has dedicated himself to directing Superman, which marks the beginning of his new DC Universe phase titled Gods and Monsters. Set to hit theaters on July 11th, Superman features David Corenswet in the lead role. The cast also includes Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer, along with familiar faces such as Skylar Gisondo, Sarah Sampaio, Sean Gunn, Eddie Gathegi, Anthony Carrigan, Isabel Merced, and Nathan Fillion. 3. James Gunn responds to MAGA outrage over Superman's Immigrant story. Cast defends film. Hold on to your capes, folks. The debate over Superman's origin story just ignited a political firestorm. Director James Gunn sparked intense MAGA backlash by describing Superman as an immigrant who came from other places in his upcoming DC epic. But this controversy reveals far more than just superhero semantics. It taps into America's deepest cultural divides. When confronted about the backlash at the Hollywood premiere, Gunn emphasized inclusivity. "This movie is for everyone. I'm not here to judge people." He framed the film as a story about kindness that universally resonates, a theme he'd earlier expanded on in a London Times interview. Gunn boldly declared Superman represents the story of America itself, depicting an immigrant who populated the country while championing basic human kindness as a core value we've lost. Here's where it gets juicy. The cast fired back with zero hesitation. Nathan Fillion, playing Green Lantern, dismissed critics with a wink. Somebody needs a hug. Just a movie, guys. But Sean Gunn, who plays Maxwell Lord and is James' brother, dropped the mic with his response. He directly connected the backlash to the film's message. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. Mic, drop. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why did this trigger such extreme reactions? Conservative media outlets like Fox News promptly labeled the film super woke. Kellyanne Conway argued audiences don't go to theaters to be lectured, while Jesse Waters made the inflammatory comparison to MS-13. This raises the real question, can Superman still unite audiences when his immigrant origin becomes political ammunition? So here's where you come in, dear reader. Does framing Superman as an immigrant enhance his relevance in modern America, or does it unnecessarily politicize pop culture? Sound off in the comments. We're genuinely curious where you stand on this cultural fault line. 4. James Gunn's Superman, Politics, Kindness, and America's Immigrant Hero. In a bold move that's already sparking debate, director James Gunn positions his upcoming Superman reboot as a political commentary wrapped in superhero action, declaring kindness itself a revolutionary act in today's divided climate. The film reframes Superman not just as a hero, but as a symbolic immigrant whose story reflects America's core values. Superman represents the American experience at its most idealistic, Gunn revealed, emphasizing that the character embodies basic human kindness, equality society has dangerously eroded. But here's where it gets controversial. Gunn openly challenges critics who might find this message offensive, bluntly stating, "Screw them." Created in 1938 by Cleveland-based writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster, Superman's origin remains intact. He's the last survivor of Krypton, sent to Earth before his planet's destruction. This reboot, starring David Corenswet as Superman and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, launches July 11th and aims to reset the DC cinematic universe after 2013's Man of Steel. Gunn acknowledges the film's political themes will resonate differently in urban environments like Metropolis, modeled after New York, versus Superman's rural Kansas roots. Yet he insists the core conflict isn't just about geography, it's a moral showdown. And this is the part most people miss. The movie hinges on the ideological clash between Superman's absolute vow against killing and Lois Lane's more pragmatic worldview. Their relationship strains under these opposing ethics, Gunn explains, framing it as a microcosm of modern ideological divides. Surprisingly, he balances this gravity with whimsical elements like a cape-wearing flying dog, proving the film won't sacrifice fun for philosophy. So where do you stand? Should superhero stories tackle real-world politics head-on, or does injecting moral complexity into iconic characters risk alienating fans? Share your take below, especially if you believe superheroes belong purely in escapist fantasy.